Dark Night 4, brought to you in part by Kraft Kids Brands.
Let's take a look at that arm, son. Looks like you've been branded. Looks mighty nasty. Hold your arm down there. Don't move.
So you're a doctor?
Yeah, pretty good one. Except for that once. That was years ago. Hardly hear about it anymore.
So let me ask you about this branding thing. What's the... Ow! What are you doing?
Hold him down, will you?
Oh, sorry.
The Dark Nighters do this kind of branding. You've been invited to a party around here?
Hey, there you go. Now we're on the right track. He knows about the party. Hey, you know what band's playing tonight? Hey, let's forget about the party. Look at my arm. It's festering with ooze. Look, I just want to get out of here. Come on, we'll go. Go to my parents' place or in a movie or something. I don't care. No, you're coming to this party with me. In fact, I'm kind of disappointed in your attitude there, son. I mean, you got me beside you. You have a dedicated medical professional. I think you should just buck up and get ready to party. Look at the situation, Phil. Look at him. How come everything's got to revolve around you anyway? It's always Phil, Phil, Phil. Not true. Look, if you want to go home, I mean, I can go do this by myself.
Go with them, Paul. Go meet some nice girls.
Excuse me, do I know you? Are we on a first-name basis? I don't think so. Thank you.
They're done. How's that now?
Call yourself a doctor? I wouldn't send you my worst enemy. No, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to feel a lot more hip. We're the babes. Hey, wait a second. There's some riffs. I think the party's down there. Hey, come on, let's go.
Dr. James isn't really so tragic. He spread that arm with his potent magic. It'll speed up Paul's Dark Night devotion. For the work he does, the doc's worth a fortune.
The future is forsaken. The future is forsaken. The future is forsaken. The future is forsaken. Going in.
Radiation level 85.
Get off my back!
I'm losing it!
Bogey in your six! Yankee, split up!
Critical.
Pull out! The future is forsaken. The future is forsaken. The future is forsaken. The future is forsaken.
Doppelganger!
What do we do?
Oh no! Think AlphaBits!
Scaredy cat. Alpha's mouse.
Nothing like a good fright to work up an appetite.
Think smart. Think post-AlphaBits cereal.
Hey, you ever thought about taking drugs?
I don't know. Well, I never really thought about it.
Think hard. The first hit's free, but you find me when you need more. The choice is yours.
What do you think? Nah, this jerk's not worth the time.
A message from Concerned Children's Advertisers.
There's only one place to go to face your fear. YTV, oh my God. This Halloween, we're putting the heebie-jeebies in all your favorite shows. In celebration of that one time of the year when extreme facial hair is actually in vogue.
Just do your magic, Liza.
So for all you fear fanatics who like your fear served sunny side down, take a peek and see what we have simmering in the cauldron. Halloween tonight.
Hey, Rosie, the jukebox is busted.
Hey, get a grip. Can't you see I'm mopping here?
I put in a quarter, I got no music.
Hey, Maurice, the guy wants music. Open up.
Huh?
Just open wide and we'll play jukebox. Go on. Yeah. It's his favorite snack. You don't want to know what it is. Or was. It's been here for a month. But that's okay, because he is a maggot! And a virtual jukebox.
Hey, Rosie, the music? Like maybe in this century?
Music coming right up!
I love Mexican food.
Hey, watch it! Oh, you knocked the burrito with no wash bucket.
Yum, burrito soup!
Hi, I'm Larry. Welcome to Ted's Diner, the best food this side of the town dump. Mind you, we're on the wrong side of the town dump. And since this episode of Freaky Stories is about food...
That wasn't bad. Bean burrito wash bucket soup with just a hint of ammonia.
Ted's a little stingy with the ammonia. Ted's a little stingy with everything. We'll be right back after this freaky story.
This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. They called him Rocco. He'd worked at some of the best restaurants in town till he got caught trying to hijack a tractor trailer full of pate de foie gras and ended up behind bars, sharing a cell with my buddy. It seemed all the guy read was cookbooks and gourmet magazines. He loved to talk about all the fine cuisine and the fancy foods he used to whip up. He'd go on for hours and hours talking about this soup and that sauce. Food was his whole life. Like guys in prison got pinups on their walls, and so did Rocco. Only his pinup was of a rack of lamb with little panties, of course. Now, our prison chow was this greeny gray stuff that smelled like old socks. Rocco refused to eat it, said it gave food a bad name, that it offended the palate. One day when they dumped that slop on his tray, he tossed it right back into God's kisser. That little episode started the mother of all food fights. That's when Rocco went into solitary and started his hunger strike. He weighed like 300 pounds when he first went in the hole, but in the next few months, he lost more than half of it. So one night, there was this big thunderstorm with lots of lightning that lit up the sky like a gigantic fireworks. A bolt of lightning hit a transformer in one of those electrical substations. Anyway, there was a big bang, and then all the lights went out. Now, while this was all going on, it just so happened that a guard was bringing Rocco his meal, and the blackout surprised this guard, so Rocco could jump him and lock him in the cell. He snuck out into the prison yard where he almost got caught by the guards, but lucky for Rocco, guards can't see in the dark. So, Rocco made it over the wall and escaped into the woods. That night, Rocco saw a truck driver who pulled over on a back road for a pit stop. When Rocco opened the back door, he saw lots of real fancy-looking, good-tasting food inside. It was a caterer's van, and a fancy caterer, too. Rocco's eyes lit up, and he slobbered drool like it was water from a spigot. But just as Rocco was reaching for a platter of them hors d'oeuvre things, the driver finished his business, got back in the truck, and drove away. Rocco was drenched to the skin and bones. A lot later that night, he saw this deserted building, but inside it was pitch black. So he stumbled around in the dark, knocking stuff over and falling down a lot. But then he thought he'd gone to heaven when he bumped into a fridge. It was chock full of plastic containers of food. He couldn't see, of course, but he also couldn't taste or even smell what was getting a cold and a stuffed-up nose from being out in the rain for so long. All he cared about was that it was a fridge and that there was food inside. He was licking his lips like he was about to sit down to a fancy spread at some 4-star French joint. Of course, maybe his taste buds would have thought doink tasted good. I don't know. He picked out and stuffed his face. It was like in one night he gave that all the weight he lost. Did he ever feel good? Good and stuffed. Anyways, it was still dark, and since he was real full and real pooped, he fell asleep. When he woke up, it was morning, and Rocco could see. His eyes bugged right out of his head, because on the fridge there was this big notice. Caution, warning, dangerous. This laboratory cooling unit contains materials for medical and scientific experiments. So Rocco pulled the door wide open. The fridge was full of really gross stuff. Parts and pieces of, I tell you what, but I don't want to make you sick. And nearly everything from that fridge was now in Rocco's gut. This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. And Rocco, he's back in prison. And these days, he eats anything they put in front of him.
Step through, sir. That's odd. Empty out your pockets. Huh. Are you wearing a watch?
Oh, for goodness sake. Every time I come here.
After a short vacation, Crash is back. And this time, he's ready for just about anything.
I am not comfortable with this. Whoa! Hello!
PlayStation. Bet I'll find some Sugar Crisp in here.
Sugar Bear!
Can't enough of that Sugar
Sugar and the taste of honey.
Sugar Bear, you little furball. Hey, Sugar Crisp.
Digimon! Prepare to Digimon, the original digital monster. How well you train him determines the monster you get.
Yeah.
Train him to shadow box, to battle.
Yeah.
And when you've taught him enough,
Prepare to Digimon!
challenge another Digimon. And if you've taught your monster well, he'll be victorious.
Yeah.
Are you prepared to Digimon? Digimon, each sold separately.
This is the night, Dark Night 4. Think everybody else is as scared as we are, Phil? I'm not scared. I'm having a blast. We're giving away 100 Dark Night 4 prize packs. The prize pack includes a Dark Night 4 baseball cap, disappearing skull watch, and this happening jacket. You also get an Are You Afraid of the Dark t-shirt, a whack of Kraft Kids products, and all this Goosebumps stuff, including some freaky faces, an Inster, and a gigantic Goosebumps game. I think you are scared, Phil. No, you know what? I think everybody wants to know how to win a Dark Night 4 prize pack. At the end of each show, watch for the toll-free number. You need to stay glued to Dark Night 4. If you know the answer to the trivia question, give us a call. Remember to dial carefully. You can also mail your answer to Dark Night 4, P.O. Box 4374, Paris, Ontario, N3L3W9. Man, stop with this roaming around in the dark stuff and just get to where we gotta go. Keep watching YTV as Dark Night 4 continues.
Hey. Hey, cameraman! Over here! Hello? There. That's better. Now, where's my assistant? It's hard to get good help these days.
See, I know all about food. Oh, what was that?
Your food that you know so much about just made you fat.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Maybe I can learn something about food. Teach me, teacher.
Okay, so without further ado...
Further what?
Ado.
Gesundheit.
Now, here we go. Now, to maintain your nutritional requirements, you've got to have your 4 basic food groups.
Red, yellow, green, blue. Got it.
Right. Now, the first up here, the blue, is meat.
Blue meat, my favorite.
Meat just happens to be blue.
Oh, yeah, when I'm lucky.
Moving right along. Here is our next freaky story. They get freakier and freakier like, you know who.
This is a true story. It happened to a friend of actually a neighbor of mine. Nobody can say that Patty Pringle isn't a good neighbor. And what people do in the privacy of their own backyards is their own affair. Like I said, I don't meddle. So when I saw that my next door neighbors, the Taylors, were planning a big barbecue, I said, fine. I hope they get good weather for it, even if I'm not invited. But when I happened to peek out my upstairs window that overlooks their backyard, you know, the one you have to stand on the chair to see out of, I saw that Mrs. Taylor was going to be serving salmon, a whole grilled salmon. And at $12 a pound, who's she trying to impress? And it certainly wasn't my business when I saw their cat, Muffy, jump up on the picnic table and start to nibble on the salmon. Luckily, Mrs. Taylor came outside and caught that stupid cat in the act. Anyway, by the time I came downstairs onto my patio, I could hear Mrs. Taylor having a hissy fit. Look what that stupid cat's done! My dinner's ruined! Well, the first thing she did is grab the cat and hand it over to her precious little Emerson. Now, Emerson's going on and on about how the cat has eaten the eyes out of the salmon and how the cat's chewed up half the salmon's face. And would you believe Mrs. Taylor, just as cool as a cucumber, told Emerson not to say a word to anybody at the party? Mrs. Taylor told him that she'll fix the salmon by decorating it with parsley. Imagine disguising a chewed-up salmon with parsley. Mrs. Taylor and Emerson shook hands and zipped their lips on their little secret. I had to go over an hour around 5, you know, when the grocery store marks down the baked goods. When I came back, the Taylor's party was in full swing. Cars parked everywhere, an awful mess. How was I even supposed to get into my own driveway? Well, as long as they were having a good time, what did it matter? Everybody, and there must have been 20 very loud people there, as if one extra person would have made a big difference. They were just raving about the dinner. Great salmon. Oh, this fish is amazing, Jenny. You must give me the recipe. I've never had fish this tasty. Well, they've never had my stewed catfish, that's for sure. And there was Mrs. Taylor, just soaking in the compliments, when Emerson came running up to her. Mom, I've got to tell you something. Well, Mrs. Taylor tried to shoo him away, but he kept tugging at her arm. Finally, he just blurted it out. Mom, Muffy ate the fish and now she's dead. Well, you should have seen Mrs. Taylor's face. I'll tell you one thing, her underwear and fine delicates never come out that white on the wash line. Now everyone started screaming about poison salmon. Well, the shrieks and cries from that backyard, people rushing to the hospital to get their stomachs. Not what I would call a very successful dinner party. The next day, I happened to see Mrs. Taylor and Emerson in the backyard. I popped my head over the fence and asked how things had gone the night before. A disaster. Everybody hurling and spewing, said rude little Emerson. Their friends won't even speak to them now, said Mrs. Taylor. And if that's not enough, the cat is dead. Oh, by the way, I said, about Muffy. Last night driving back from the market, I ran over your cat. I didn't want to disturb your big fancy party, so I just left the poor little thing on your porch. Nobody can say that Patty Pringle isn't a good neighbor. This is a true story. It happened to a neighbor of mine, which is probably why the Taylors don't serve fish for dinner anymore.
Failed Experiment 0779.
Always peaceful in the Mushroom Kingdom. Till Smithy the Stork shattered the Star Road. Wow! So with his old enemy Bowser and a marshmallow throws lightning. Are you fought evil wedding cakes and the killer Venus flytraps and recovered the 7 stars? That was freaky.
Super Mario RPG, only on the system that keeps on kicking. Super NES.
Dig it?
A haunted house. Wow, Kellogg snacks. Scary how I love those sweet little puffs of wheat. A mirror? I'll shine some light on this mystery. There they are. Hey, what the... Oh my. And I want snacks to be part of my complete breakfast.
But kids, you could help Big'em. Just connect the dots on the back of the box to see how he gets an A. And for helping, a free Big'em flashlight with mail-in certificate.
Stay tuned for freaky stories on YTV.
Chef Queasy coming through. That's nasty. This is tasty. Mud and crud cakes. Baked them up fresh in my Queasy Bake Cookerator. Now you're the chef. Mix her up. Pop it in the Cookerator. Ta-da! You can add mud, gravel, some worms. Good job. Did I mention? Turns your mouth green. Queasy Bake looks gross, tastes great. Cookerator comes with 2 mixes. Other mixes sold separately. Light bulb not included. Assembly required.
It's back. Lock your doors and bolt your windows shut. All the freaks come out at night.
You want me to go out there?
Are you afraid of the dark? Next, only on YTV.
The second food group, which has all kinds of vitamins and good stuff, is vegetables.
Oh, vegetables give me gas.
Everything gives you gas.
Does not.
Air gives you gas.
Does not.
Okay, breathe. See?
Whoa, what a gross smell.
You're driving the customers out again.
That was a perfectly normal body function.
Would you be okay if you had a perfectly normal body? Or a perfectly normal brain for that one. Our next story.
You act like you're better than me.
You're a maggot. Everybody's better than you.
Oh. You do have a point.
As I was saying, here is our next freaky story.
Nah, this is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Jenny loved to bundle newsprint. She was a real compost queen, you know? Unfortunately, her family was the most wasteful bunch of garbage grunts on the planet. Every Saturday, Big Bill, that's Jenny's dad, would be out in the backyard stoking up his huge briquette-burning barbecue for the weekly weenie roast. Bill was a big fan of Maxi Franks. 18 inches long, big, fat, and greasy. Every Saturday, Big Bill got the grill going good. Then Cheryl, that's Jenny's mom, would come out on the deck dragging a box of frozen Franks the size of a small dumpster. Now, the Maxi Franks people, see, they loved packaging almost as much as Bill loved their weenies. A Maxi Frank box could fill a double-sized green garbage bag all on its own. Bill and Cheryl didn't even like to think about garbage. You put it in green plastic bags, tossed it out on the front sidewalk, and it went away. But where does it go? Jenny would demand. Just away, Big Bill would reply. Have another hot dog. One day, Jenny tells her dad, I'm never gonna eat another Maxi Frank, ever, ever, ever. And she switches to a diet of raw vegetables. Big Bill and Cheryl freak out. I mean, without animal protein, they were sure their daughter would waste away. They had to get her back to eating good, nutritious Maxi Franks. But how? Then, Big Bill remembers a commercial he saw on TV. It was all about a new theme park, Maxi Frank's Weenie Wonderland. So Big Bill piles them into the family car. An hour later, they pull up in front of a hot dog the size of an incinerator stack. And on top, there was a big neon sign that said, Welcome to Weenie Wonderland. Man, you would not believe this place. In the middle of all the attractions was a huge square filled with barbecue pits around a monster fun bun fountain. And everyone who worked there was dressed up like plastic mustard and ketchup bottles. And the rides, bratwurst bumper cars, sausage scramblers, and red-hot roller coasters. Oh, and of course, the Maxi Frank merry-go-round. And everybody, but everybody was chowing down barbecued hot dogs. And the waste! Jenny was horrified. Half-eaten hot dogs and mangled buns littered the grounds. She decides she's gonna find the head office and register a complaint. And Big Bill, well, he had to keep Jenny happy if he expected her to start eating meat again, so he went along. Then Jenny spots a building behind the pickle pavilion. Jenny wanted to check it out to see if this was where she could make her complaint. Big Bill didn't think it was a good idea, especially when a couple of big armed guards told him to move along. So Jenny and Bill get themselves a couple of costumes. They fall in line behind a bunch of theme-dressed workers and slip right by the guards. So Jenny and Bill walk down this long, snaking corridor and come out in a big, modern factory with huge pipes pumping some kind of mush into big open vats. High-pressure hoses squirted the stuff into long, limp hot dog skins. Well, Big Bill's in seventh heaven. But suddenly, there was a shout, and Big Bill saw this nasty-looking security guard running towards them. They go racing down another long corridor, through another door, and then bam! They were standing in this huge concrete bunker full of trucks, dumping garbage and stuff into one great big pile. The smell was awful. Big Bill got dizzy and upchucked all over the place. Jenny had to help her dad out, but not before he saw the sign on the door. Makers of the Maxi Frank. Yeah, that's a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. And Big Bill, well, he still barbecues every week. But now he's cremating corn, braising beets, and, toasting tofu.
This is Larry. This is Larry's brain. And this is Larry's brain when he can wake great prizes! Yes, look inside, specially marked boxes of sugar crisp! For your free brain decoder and details on how to win.
Be your brain!
The deadly. Go on. You know what it's like to get it right between the eyes? Ah! To see the juice squirt out of your family like the 4th of July? Oh! Ever hear a scream so loud it scrambled your intestines? And the burning light right before the fall!
Only a pro could do this. Recognize him?
That's the one!
Gamecom Pocket Pro, the only portable cartridge system that plays Resident Evil 2.
What in the world is the best way to make a hungry mouth happy? Why, a wild and crazy, super cheesy, incredibly yummy, awesome, fantastic, delicious pan pizza from Pizza Hut, where it's kooky, crazy YTV Kids Night every Tuesday night with awesome pizza, free balloons, placemats, and kids get a great tasting Quaker Chewy granola bar. When your mouth's hungry, Tuesday night's YTV Kids Night at Pizza Hut and nothing but. Warning, warning.
The evil Dr. Paranoid changed 4 innocent brothers into huge creatures. Half-man, half-shark. You're in my control. Yeah. Think again. 4 heroes fighting to stop Dr. Paranoid and his evil creations from taking over the world. They fight, they bite, they kick some serious spin. 3 sharks. Ripsters, Blades, Jab, and Big Slam Jump, fighting to defeat Dr. Paranoid, half-man, half-piranha monster. Time to go spearfishing. Go fish, blowfish. 3 sharks. They bite. They fight. They kick some serious spin. Each sold separately, new from Mattel. Awesome!
Dark Night 4, brought to you in part by Kraft Kids Brands.
Hey, check this out. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, right. Dairy, which is milk and cheese and stuff like that. You know, makes your bones strong. He ain't got no bones. Okay, our next food group is grains, which is rice and wheat.
Boring.
Hey, grains give you fiber, and fiber is important.
I get my fiber.
Oh, yeah. From what?
I get my fiber, okay?
Here's our next freaky story.
This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Mike was a stock boy at the local supermarket. It wasn't a bad job, as far as jobs go, but it was pretty boring. loading groceries onto the shelves and sweeping the floors. Sometimes he'd help the checkout girls bag groceries. Not all the checkout girls, just the hot ones. Anyhow, one day Mike was stocking the shelves, following that old stock boys rule of thumb of putting the fresh stuff at the back and the oldie moldies up front when he was called to the checkout. One of the customers needed help carrying her groceries. This particular customer turned out to be a granny, and she had a ton of bags with her. Things were starting to look up. You see, another of the stock boys' rules of thumb was that the value of the tip is directly proportional to the number of bags to be carried. Mike picked up the old granny's bags and carried them out to the parking lot. That's when Granny confessed that she didn't have a car and asked if he wouldn't mind carrying the bags back to her place. "It's just around the corner," she said. It didn't take an Einstein to figure out that the old lady'd probably be so grateful she'd give him a really humongous tip. So Mike said, "Sure." So they started walking. That's when Mike realized that just around the corner was kind of an understatement. This granny lived at least a mile from the store and uphill all the way, through a strange, gingerbready kind of neighborhood. The whole place was like Granny City. "Not too heavy for you, is it, Sonny?" asked Granny. Mike, drenched with sweat, grunted and shook his head no. "Mind the eggs, dear," she said. They finally got to her house. Mike dragged the bags up the front steps. He put the bags on the kitchen table and then collapsed into a chair. He was totally wiped. That's when Granny said, "You've been so kind. Let me get you something for your time and trouble. I'll be right back." This is what he'd been waiting for. As the old lady scurried into the back room, she called out, "You must be hungry. Why don't you fix yourself a snack? There's lots to eat in the pantry." Mike was starving now that she'd mentioned it. He got up and opened the pantry doors. It was dark and musty, filled with jars of things like jellied calf's livers and pig's knuckles. What other weird stuff would he find? Something gross, maybe? He knew he should stop looking, but he couldn't help himself. He was hungry. He opened a cupboard door and it rolled out at him. He was scared, but he caught it. It was nothing weird at all. It was just a small jar of mixed nuts. He popped some of the nuts into his mouth. They were pretty good. Could have used some salt, but not too bad otherwise. They'd hold him till he found some real food. But there was nothing. Just jar after jar, shelf after shelf of yucky stuff like porpoise parts and monkey meat. Mike was getting the dry heaves just from looking at it. He decided to stick with the nuts, thank you very much. At least he knew nuts were safe. And before he knew it, he'd finished off the jar. Finally, Granny came back into the kitchen. "Here you go, dearie, something for your trouble." And she held out 15 cents. Mike took the money. "Gee, thanks, lady." Yeesh. All that work for nothing. But, on the bright side, he'd got a free snack out of it. "Oh, by the way," he said, "you had some mixed nuts in the cupboard? Sorry, I couldn't stop myself and I kinda ate them all." "Oh, that's all right, Sonny," Granny said with a kindly smile. "With the state of my teeth, all I can do is suck the chocolate off them anyway." Hey, it's a true story. Happened to a friend of mine. Yeah, Mike's still working at the supermarket, but he's added a new rule to the stock boys' rules of thumb. Never eat on the job.
You see, I do get my fiber.
See you next time with my new assistant.
Ah, you can't get anybody for what you're paying me.
I'm paying you nothing.
Yep, and I'm worth every penny. I'll see you next time.
If you're still alive.
What?
Maurice? Maurice? Hey!
The trivia question for Freaky Stories, The Big Queasy is, what did Mike eat? 1, ice cream, 2, nuts, or 3, cookies? Call 1-888-999-4060 right now. Make sure you dial carefully and remember the 1-888 because this is not a local call. If you get through and you know the correct answer, you could be eligible to win one of 100 Dark Night Forge prize packs, including a Dark Night Forge watch, Panasonic Shockwave, a YTV knapsack, t-shirt, and cap.
We got Paul and Phil looking for party time. Paul's arms infested with a dark night slide. With every dark night creature they meet, they get closer and closer to the trap down the street.
Let's ask this guy. I bet he knows. Hey, Pirate Man.
You talking to me?
Yeah, we're looking for a party. Did you hear any jams?
We bumped into a couple of weirdos. One of them infected me, and the other one said I was branded. Where's the party?
No, Ray. You're cool. You're not even close.
Wait, I'm the one who got the invite. He just came along.
Listen, you cockroach. Your party's waiting for you down at your mama's place, so why don't you head down there, have some milk and some cookies and some ice cream before they run out, all right, you little squirt?
Hey, Bongo, this guy learned hip from me. If he goes, I go.
You ain't got what it takes. Your friend here's getting hipper by the second. He's already got the mark of the Dark Knighters. What do you got? I'm gonna take very special care of that arm when you get to that party.
Hey, forget the arm. What about the babes? What about the band?
I already told you. Sharon, Lois, and Brandel are playing right down the street. So why don't you head on down and have a real good time?
Are you gonna take good care of my arm at the party?
Oh, they're arm specialists. Legs, too.
Phil, I'll see you later.
Wait, you're going without me? Forget it. I'm going with you. Plus, this guy's trying to confuse us. He's trying to pit brother against brother.
Tell you what, Phil, you can come if you apologize to my new friend here.
I'm sorry.
Sure. Where's the soiree? Now, aren't you glad you asked this nice man for directions?
You're going crazy. Now you want to go? Plus, this creepy guy's got something up his sleeve.
So do I, Phil. So do I.
Number 317, Hot Snob.
Cellular DNA. Aliens within ourselves, waiting to strike. Parasite.
The worst foe lies within. Parasite Eve.
PlayStation.
What do you get when you combine the irresistible taste of fruit snacks with the spookiness of Goosebumps? New Goosebumps fruit roll-ups with scary peel-outs. And fruit by the foot with creepy Goosebumps story teasers. So deliciously unusual, everyone will try to get their hands on them, but they're only around for a limited time. So what's really scary is running out.
Stay tuned for Are You Afraid of the Dark on YTV.
You can choose. You can choose to be alone. You can choose to be a friend. Choose to be a friend. You can choose. Choose. You can choose. You can choose from 70 Shades of Blue. 70 Shades. You can choose to ignore. You. You can choose to run wild. You can choose
not to watch.
You can choose to keep a secret. To be shy. You can choose to believe. The dogs understand us. You can choose to be bored. You can choose to dream. I.
You choose.
You can choose. Because you can.
Coming up next, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then at 8, Reboot.
Dark Night 4, brought to you in part by Kraft Kids Brands.
We're called the Midnight Society. Separately, we're very different. We like different things. We go to different schools, and we have different friends. But one thing draws us together.
the dark. Each week, we gather around this fire to share our fears and our strange and scary tales. It's what got us together, and it's what keeps bringing us back. This is a warning to all who join us. You're going to leave the comfort of the light and step into the world of the supernatural.
Hey, watch it, man.
I'm sorry.
Frank Moore, you're here to be considered as a new member of the Midnight Society.
Yeah, what's with the blindfold?
This meeting place is secret? Yeah, and you're not in yet.
Swell.
Who sponsors Frank?
I do. He's a good guy. Yeah, but can he tell a good story?
Who said that?
To be a member, you have to tell us a scary tale. Then we vote, and it has to be unanimous or you're not in. You ready?
Hey, I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
Ooh, I'm scared now.
Yo, take this thing off.
Sorry. Not unless you get in.
You're the sponsor, Dave. You gotta start it.
Remember how to do it?
Just say the word.
Anytime.
Okay, let's do it. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story The Tale of the Phantom Cab. Denny and Buzz were brothers. Denny was big, strong, and smart. Buzz was, well, kind of a geek who wanted to prove himself to his big brother. What neither guy knew was that on this hiking trip, Buzz was gonna get the chance.
So where are we, Tonto?
This is strange.
We're lost, aren't we? Don't sweat, Denny. I know how to plot a course. You never trust me. I did trust you, and you got us lost, cheeseball.
We're not lost.
Watch it! Great lame wad. Now we're lost and we can't read the map. You are such a loser.
I'm not a loser. And we're not lost. Look, there's the ridge we came up on. We can circle back and take the red trail. Man, this is whacked.
Watch the edge.
Whoa!
Grab my hand.
I can't. I'll fall.
Grab me, you jerk.
Hey, I saved the compass.
I should have let you fall.
The guys really were lost. It was just a pain at first, but nighttime was coming on fast, and it was getting cold.
It doesn't make sense.
You even know how to use this?
Give me a break. We've been going south for hours. We should have been in town by now. Look, the needle points north and we're headed south. What can I say?
That the way you always hold it?
Yeah, so?
Your belt buckle, genius. It's metal. The needle's always gonna point to it because it's a magnet.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, uh-oh. We've been going the wrong way all day. Now we're lost and it's freezing. You are worthless.
No, no. I know this place. We've got to be close to town.
Slow down!
There's trail up here. Come on!
I should pound you!
Look!
Maybe it's a ranger.
Or maybe it's a hiker that knows his way back to town.
I hope he's got a blanket. I'm freezing.
Me too.
Forget it. You can freeze.
Maybe it's a maniac killer in a hockey mask who's gonna slash us.
Or maybe you should stay here and let me do the talking. Hey, hello? Who's there? Oh, turn off the brights.
Hello. What have we here?
I'm Buzz, and this is Denny. We got lost and we can't find the trail back to town.
Easy, Toad. You're not a ranger, are you?
Ranger? No, not me. I'm a traveler, same as you.
Flynn's the name. So what are you doing up here? You lost too?
Lost? Me? Oh, you might say that. Though I suppose I couldn't be truly lost. I know these woods too well.
We far from town?
Farther than you know, my friends, farther than you know.
So can you help us get back?
Me?
Yeah, you. I don't see anybody else here.
You guys look half frozen. Tell you what, you follow me, and I'll lead you to someone who can help you.
Wait.
I wouldn't go with him. He gives me the creeps.
You got a better idea? Don't worry, I can handle this too.
Why don't you just tell us how to get back?
Too far, you never find your way in the dark.
So who's this guy you're taking us to?
Good doctor. He's got a cottage a little ways up here.
In the woods? What kind of a doctor lives in the woods?
Patience, boys. You'll see. By the way, how are you guys at solving riddles?
Riddles? Why?
Just asking. Just asking. There you go, boys. Home of the good doctor. Just like I promised. You guys thought I was joking, didn't you?
Who lives here? The 7 dwarfs?
There's just one thing, guys. Before you go asking the doctor for help, you make sure you really need it.
Why?
Well, sometimes the price he charges is a little, steep.
So why don't you just tell us how... Yo, Flynn!
This is creepy. Let's bolt.
To where? We're lost, remember?
You're not going in there.
What else are we gonna do? It's freezing. Maybe he's got a phone. Back off, would you?
I'm sorry I got us lost, Danny.
Don't worry, I'll smack you when we get home.
What's that?
Flynn, I know it's you. He's trying to scare us.
He's doing a good job. That can't be him, too.
Probably a raccoon.
That's no raccoon! Danny, what's going on? Danny!
Come on.
What's there?
I don't know. Open up!
You boys have made a very grave mistake. I don't suppose either of you are any good at riddles.
Play Silent Hill. You may never leave your room again for PlayStation from Konami.
An army of bizarre, one-eyed creatures has just landed in the desert. Creatures with twisted, hollow bodies and hideous, bulging eyes. It appears they're heading for Taco Bell. People here are frantically buying extreme value combos and taking home one of 4 straw-like creatures and a pack of sweet tarts for just 69 cents more. With a Halloween deal like this, these monsters could soon be in every home in America.
Monster Eye straws, only at Taco Bell.
The hand. Fingers become monsters and spit you into open graves. Slam the coffin on dead Fred. Watch out, Max. The hand. They're here. The heroic battle conqueror versus the evil double demon. The super warriors with swords that lash, missiles that crash. And if you dare, inside the warriors, the battle rages on. Mighty Max Hand and Battlemax figures sold separately. Figures do not move by themselves.
Enter the absurd. And distorted. World of feline foolishness.
It's a cat thing.
The Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat. Sundays at 9:30 on YTV.
Dark Night 4. Brought to you in part by Canada Games.
I think we have the wrong house. Bye.
Boys, you've made a mistake. If you're at my door at this time of night, you've taken a wrong turn and lost your way, correct?
Yeah.
Happens all the time. Come in, get warm. Vink's the name. Dr. Vink.
Dr. Fink?
Vink with a V. Who wants tea? I do. Hot tea on a cold night. Perfect.
Flynn said you could help us find a way to get back to it.
Natural science.
Huh?
That's why I'm here, in case you're wondering. I've dedicated my life to studying flora and fauna.
Who?
There are many strange and wonderful things that occur in nature, but no one takes the time to really look and study. Observe.
This guy's a nutbag.
Behold, a true wonder of nature, the brain of a wild boar.
Ew. Cool.
I've discovered that long after the body dies, the brain still gives off electric impulses. Can you imagine if that energy could be harnessed? And I am not a nutbag.
Look, our parents are probably going nuts by now. And,
Riddles. How are you boys at riddles?
Doc, we're tired and we just want to go home.
Indeed. But first, a riddle. Try this one. How far can you walk into the woods?
We don't want to do riddles.
But you must. Riddles exercise your brain. And where would you be with no brain?
I don't know. Ask the wild boar.
Halfway.
Say what?
He asked how far he can walk into the woods. Halfway. After that, you'll be walking out.
Good. Very good. You may do.
I'm gonna call our folks.
No, not yet. We've only just begun.
No, I think we're done.
We play by my rules, or we don't play.
What do you want?
Another riddle. Here's the deal. I ask you a riddle, and if you solve it, you can call your parents.
And if we don't solve it?
Then you leave.
That's it? We just leave?
Simple, no?
Let's do it. I'm good at riddles.
Okay, what's the riddle?
Wonderful! Wonderful! Now, what riddle? Let's see, there's the... No, not that one. Maybe the... No. Ah! The perfect choice. This is a riddle that has perplexed many and confounded even more. And now, young lads, it's your turn to solve it. Here we go. What is it that has no weight can be seen by the naked eye. And if you put it in a barrel, it would make the barrel lighter.
I hate riddles.
Okay, it's weightless, it can be seen by the naked eye, and if put in a barrel, would make the barrel lighter.
So?
I don't know.
Goodbye.
I knew you wouldn't get it.
Wait, that riddle was too hard. Give us another one.
You had your chance and failed, like all the others.
Others? What others?
Go away. You know where the door is.
But we're lost.
Take a left on the trail, follow it to the dirt road, and wait. A taxi cab will pick you up.
A cab? In the woods?
Comes by every night. Hurry, or you'll miss it.
Come on, Doc, just let us use the phone.
There is one way, I suppose.
What? What's that?
You can leave me a specimen.
A specimen?
You're much smarter than your brother gives you credit for.
What kind of specimen?
Something I can use in my experiments. Something valuable. Something fresh. Something like this.
Killer outfit. Too bad the nightlife sucks. Dracula returns to Castlevania on Nintendo 64 from Konami.
Now it's time for the Pizza Head Show.
Hey everybody, I'm done trick-or-treating and now I'm gonna go for a stuffed crust pizza at Pizza Hut. Yay!
Not yet, Pizza Head. There's one more place to go.
I don't think anyone's home.
Sure there is.
Hello, trick-or-treat. Interesting hieroglyphics on this pizza.
Quick, Pizza Head, let's go upstairs.
Hey, who is here anyway?
It's your host, Count Steve.
Oh, nice place. You gotta go. I wanna go to Pizza Hut now.
The Count will be happy to give you a lift.
Hey, put me down! Put me down!
See you next time.
There's a new spirit at Pizza Hut.
Hi, Casper!
Welcome, living or non-living.
Should have ordered Diet Pepsi, kid. Now order any pizza or Pepsi and get a glow-in-the-dark hand puppet from the movie Casper. Only $1.49. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery.
Boo!
I never saw anything so hideous.
You love the stuff we made at Pizza Hut.
What's your flavor? Flavor's getting ready to party tonight. Gonna change your flavor. Decorate it just right. Now add some flavor bling. That's the hip hop bang. Now your flavor's ready for the party scene. Flavors. Now we got a party groove on. Dance and move. That's how you party with the Flavors crew. What's your flavor? What's your flavor? What's your flavor? What's your flavor? Introducing the new Party Flavors crew. Each style sold separately.
The news starts and you watch them, and you find yourself sitting there a little indifferent, a little uninvolved, a little unconcerned. So you turn the TV off. You try the newspaper sitting on the table, and you read it, and you find yourself turning the pages, a little unconcerned, a little uninvolved, a little indifferent. Your buddy calls, the phone rings, you pick it up.
Hey, Dad!
Check out what's on YTV News, man. Oh.
YTV News, Sundays at 12:30. News that'll move you.
Goodbye. For now.
Wait a minute, no fair. You can't put a riddle in a story that can't be solved.
Maybe it can.
Yeah, right. It's weightless, you can see it, and if you put it in a barrel, it makes the barrel lighter. No way.
Sounds like one of those riddles you can't solve. That's a cheat.
No. Maybe it can be solved.
Maybe you should all just lighten up and let me finish this story. Thank you. So, Denny and Buzz beat feet back into the woods. All they wanted was to get as far away from Dr. Vink as possible.
Hey, Danny! Wait up! Was that somebody's hand?
You saw it. The guy's a lunatic. As soon as we get home, I'm calling the cops.
We're still lost, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You really think a cab's gonna come by?
Get real. There's no cabs in the woods. No. No way.
He wasn't lying. It's a taxi cab.
Man, are we ever glad you came by. Take us into town. Our parents will pay the fare when we get home.
Don't worry. I know you're good for it.
Flynn!
I figured I'd run into you guys again. Guess you didn't solve the riddle.
How do you know? Who are you?
I give a ride to folks who can't answer Dr. Vink's riddles. Happened to me around 40 years ago.
Whoa, slow down.
40 years ago?
Mm-hmm. I gave Dr. Vink a ride up here in my cab. He offered me a big tip if I could solve the riddle. I couldn't, so he took a specimen from me.
What kind of specimen?
You didn't see it at his house? Oh boy, I think it's one of his favorites.
What is it?
It's not what it is, it's what it was.
Oh! He took your hand?
I got off easy. For 40 years I've been bringing folks up to Dr. Vink's, hoping they can solve the riddle. But they don't, so they all end up here with me.
What happens to them?
Hey, Dr. Vink's needs his specimens.
You're a lying sack. First of all, you're not that old.
Didn't I tell you? Before the good doctor got his specimen, I had myself a nasty little accident. Crashed into this big old tree. You might say, I sort of died!
Stop the car! Stop the car!
They all die, just like me. Every night I have the same accident with a different fare. It's kind of a curse. You probably heard some of my fares up around Dr. Vink's house.
The bushes! They were ghosts!
Nobody can leave until someone solves Dr. Vink's riddle. I was hoping the two of you could do it. You know, somehow break the spell. Oh, well, wait till you see the accident we're gonna have. Oh, it's gonna be a real doozy.
This is your fault! You said you could solve the riddle!
Still got time. We don't crash for another, 30 seconds. Think fast, boys.
Think!
Okay. It's weightless, it can be seen by the naked eye, and it's put in a barrel. It'll make the barrel lighter.
We're dead. We're dead!
I can't think like this!
You have to! It's helium! Helium will make the barrel lighter.
But you can't see helium!
Won't be long now.
What can you see that's weightless?
Nothing! Air! But you can't see air! Or can you? Wait a second, there's a trick here. You can't put something in the barrel to make it lighter. You have to take something out. If you take something out of the barrel itself, it'll be lighter.
Wait till you see the explosion we're gonna make.
I got it! I know the answer!
What is it?
It's weightless, you can see it, and if you put it in a barrel, it'll make the barrel lighter.
Say it!
It's a hole! It's a hole in the barrel!
Here we go!
We didn't crash. We're alive.
Where's the cab?
It's gone. We broke the curse. We're saved. Nah, we didn't break the curse. You did. Nice going. But you're still a loser.
Oh man, not again.
You Denny and Buzz Crocker?
Yeah?
Your parents have been going nuts looking for you. The whole town's in an uproar. Come on, get in. What are you boys doing here anyway?
Tell me something. How are you at riddles?
No one ever saw the phantom cab again. And when the boys brought the police back to Dr. Vink's cottage, all that was left was an old stone foundation covered with weeds. The end.
And now the vote. Thumbs up means Frank's in, thumbs down he's not. And it has to be unanimous. David? Kiki? Betty Ann? Kristen? Eric? And me. Congratulations, Frank. Welcome to the Midnight Society.
All right. Good job.
Yeah. This is gonna be good.
All right.
Yeah.
The Dark Night question for the tale of the Phantom Cab is, what is the answer to Dr. Vink's final riddle? Is the answer a bucket, a circle, a hole, or a square? Call 1-800-363-3275 right now if you know. And keep watching for more scares, thrills, and dares as Dark Night continues on YTV.
It was so easy pulling their strings that night. Getting them boys down to the party was like taking candy from a little wee baby. Ain't no maybe about it. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. Man, I'm such a stinker.
All right, this is no good. No good. We'll run around in circles. No, we're close. I can feel it. I can feel it in my arm. It's taking us to our destiny. Get that arm away from me. Look at this. No babes, no band. It's the use. Let's call it quits. Let's go home. No. I want to party. I need to party. My arm needs to party. Honestly, what are you talking about? You're giving me the creeps. This place is giving me the shh. Did you hear that? No.
He's the branded one. Let's check out his arm.
What are you, the arm specialist?
I'm the arm specialist. Oh, the Dark Night brand. It's very advanced.
Cool.
I love your arm. I mean, I've seen open scars and pus before, but this is one happening infection that's in there.
Oh, well, it's just wonderful. I mean, it's full-bodied and, well, it's robust.
Yes.
He's all what I had in mind. No, sure, I want to hang out with him for a while.
Hey, You want to go to a big bash, Paul? We will take you.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, what about me? I'm still cool. Hey, you've been lied to. Jeez, we've been called all night long. Are you listening to me? Chill out, man. Hey, they're trying to jerk us around. Plus, they might be those dark nighters. So they just want to party.
There's a warehouse down the block. You want to go? Let's go. Bring that on yours.
Come on.